are just meeting today to talk about your IPDP and goals that you have for this year. At our post-observation conference, we talked a lot about student engagement and ensuring that all students have lots of opportunities to respond. So, also, as you know, our district has several goals. What are some goals that you feel would move your students forward the most this year?
I think one of the things with this group of kiddos is they have such low self-esteem and self-talk. Like, if they hit a roadblock, it's, I can't do this. It's too hard. It's their 6 and 7 problem-solving skills. Like, we know those are hard for this age, but just even the, like, confidence to, like, it's okay that it's hard, or, like, you can do some of this. And I think about even reading. I have kids that go, I can't read. No, you can read. It's just hard, but you can do some of those skills. So I really want to work on, like, their growth mindset and, like, their ability to talk through hard situations and persevere through it. I think that will help in math and reading and all areas of their day if I can get them to just believe in themselves a little bit more.
Right, so our district has that 100% goal of moving kids forward, meeting benchmarks at 100%, or having gap closing growth. And I feel like that self-efficacy, getting them to believe in themselves, will help in all academic areas too. So with that, like, wellness mindset, that talking themselves up, who all in your class, or are there outliers in your class that you're specifically wanting to focus on?
When I think about my class, I would say, and I look at, like, the self-efficacy, I pulled it up because I needed to, like, double check that I knew what I, like, exactly what it is. Let me find them again. I'm sorry, one moment. There's so many in here, it's the first one. So it's specific, like, I can use positive self-talk. When I can try new things, I can speak up in a kind and confident ways, I can try harder new things on my own before I ask for help. So when I think about that, I feel like half of my class still struggles with it. So it's not just 1 or 2 kiddos, it's definitely like a good chunk of them that could use at least pieces of that. I have a few that can do all of those things. I have some that do really great with positive self-talk until it gets hard.
Right.
Or, like, they do a good job speaking up kindly, but unless it's about themselves. Like, they're good at, like, standing up for others, but not for themselves.
Yeah.
So.
When you did your first SEL survey, did you notice that it was more than 50% of your class that scored low on self-efficacy?
Honestly, I haven't even looked at those results. We just did them, so I haven't, and I was gone last week. But when we did, because our principal gave us the learning targets and success criteria, so I used those when I was really thinking about it. But I should look at their panorama. That's something.
Moving into that, what assessments do you plan to use to monitor this goal?
I will do a lot of, like, formative check-ins, like, oh, I know this. Like, we have our end of module writing coming up, so just kind of being mindful that's something I'm looking at. I have, like, a name and notice sheet that has all of the kids' names on, like, a grid, and I'll just put a plus or a little note, or if there's a certain thing they're really struggling with, just so I kind of know these kids, they've got it, they struggled, but they worked through it. These ones really couldn't get started without additional support. And just kind of throughout our whole day, making note if I notice certain kids are really struggling when things get hard. And then during my social emotional learning time, I'm really focusing on growth mindset lessons right now. And then when we did our PD day, one of the things that guy talked about is reframing your mindset. And so teaching kiddos that, like, growth mindset doesn't just mean you never are uncomfortable or upset or frustrated. Like, it's okay to have all those feelings. It means you care, but what are we gonna do to work through this?
Okay.
So that's kind of my next steps for that instruction piece.
Yeah, I feel like that's really good instructional decision making, but how do you know that your students are going to be making progress? Like, how frequently do you think that checking in would be beneficial?
I feel like at least weekly checking in, and being really mindful of, like, okay, this is the day I'm focusing on just going through the success criteria with the kiddos. Like, okay, who's got this, who's got that?
Do you plan to use your name and notice sheet for all of that?
Yep, and then I might even just create a little spreadsheet in my Google Drive with their names so I can put like, okay, well, what success criteria did they hit this day? So that it might be like, oh, this piece is the piece we really need to start focusing on.
Right. Thinking about like specific academic pieces, what will your students be expected to do like in workplace time to be successful on this goal, or independent time?
Hi.
Sorry.
Nope, you're okay.
You guys are you?
Yes.
Okay. Can I just ask you a quick question?
Uh-huh.
I had an email from a parent about a success thing that like, you know, I get like a message, oh, we need to talk to the parents, or, you know,
Mm-hmm.
who's the best person to?
I usually reach out to the Angus
Okay,
first,
okay.
and then she'll help
Perfect.
figure it out.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Sorry, what was like, what do I expect them to do?
Yes.
I
Yep.
think, honestly, I want to give them some like positive self-talk sentence frames to start practicing
Mhm.
like throughout the day as like our first starting point. Like, okay, this is hard, but so some positive self-talk starting sentence frames, and then also like a little like, I'm stuck now, what?
Mhm.
And then just like even 3 visuals of, have you taken a deep breath? Did you use the break space? Did you ask a friend for help? Like, what are some strategies you've tried before you come ask the teacher for assistance?
Right, and then you would know that they're successful if they're using those
Yeah.
sentence frames, if they're showing that positive self-talk, right?
Yep.
Are there specific areas of the day that you really want to focus in on more than others?
I feel like definitely writing.
Yeah.
Writing time is a big, and then I feel like math independent work time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kids tend to get stuck very much so in both of those times, but they're both times that will move them forward if they can use that positive self-talk.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where you don't want kiddos sitting and like just beating themselves down because I'm with a group and I can't go over and stop everything to help them.
Right.
So I need to teach them some strategies to help when I'm not available.
Right. How would this align to our district goal?
I think getting kids to believe in themselves is half the battle to getting them to achieve success. If they believe they can do it, then they're more apt to practice the skills, which then helps them either meet the goals or grow, which that's what our district goals are, meeting it or growing.
Right. How often do you want to reflect on this goal? You talked about weekly. You'll measure it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you plan to look at that data weekly and make changes?
Yeah, I feel like I'll use that data weekly to then plan what I target during that social emotional learning for the following week. So if I notice like they're doing a good job with positive self-talk, but they struggle with problem solving when things are hard, maybe doing some like challenge activities or teamwork building things that like involve them working on problem solving.
Right. You talked about those weekly name and notice sheets. How
Mhm.
often do you plan or want to try to formally measure this goal? Do you want to align that with the SEL surveys or leader in me things?
Yeah, I think, I want to give it some time. So if we do it during like our testing windows, so I think in
Mhm.
January next. And then again at the end of the year, and if I notice I need a midpoint check-in.
Yep.
Like if I'm like, hey, my kids are all doing amazing. Well, I need to switch gears then.
Right. So I'm hearing you say that right now your students are really struggling with some self-efficacy. You had previously told me that 56% of your class meets all success criteria for demonstrating that self-efficacy. So just over half, which means 44% are still working towards those self-efficacy skills. And in our district, we work towards 100%. So I think that if you're starting at 56, you can meet that 100%. That's probably 6 kids.
Yeah.
Ish. Will meet that success criteria in the self-efficacy checklist or make significant growth by the end of the year. How can I support you in making these steps? How often can I check in? What can I help you with?
I feel like maybe monthly or something like that. Just do a check-in, see how things are going, and then there might be sometimes if I'm struggling with like, hey, I need a visual for this. Do you have any good ideas
Perfect.
to help with some of those problem-solving pieces?
Awesome. So you said that you collected SEL survey last week. So that was in October. The next one will come in January, late January. So I would probably expect to see about 75% of your class making that growth or meeting those by January, and then by the end of the year, so May, we would hope for 100% making significant growth.
Yep.
I think that sounds like a really good plan. Thank you for meeting with me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.